A young person sits at their kitchen table, hands trembling over a blank piece of paper. In front of them lies their resignation letter to a comfortable job. Their heart races between two voices, one screaming, "Stay safe," the other whispering, "But what if?" Have you ever stood at that crossroads? That moment where your dreams collide with your doubts? Pause. I have, and I discovered something profound that night. Every single excuse I had written down was nothing but a prison I had built with my own hands. Let me ask you something. What would happen if you discovered that you had unlimited potential trapped inside of you? What if you learned that the only thing standing between you and extraordinary achievement was the list of excuses you've memorized so well? You see, in my years of studying human potential and working with individuals from every walk of life, I've discovered a universal truth. Success doesn't demand extraordinary talent. It doesn't require perfect circumstances. Success demands only one thing: the courage to try. But here's what fascinates me. We live in a world where mediocrity has become acceptable, where "I can't" has become more comfortable than "I'll try," where excuses have become more polished than our efforts. Today, we're going to shatter that paradigm. We're going to expose the greatest lie you've ever been told, the lie that says you need permission to be extraordinary. We're going to uncover why there is absolutely, unequivocally, no excuse for not trying. Because here's the reality: every excuse you make is a choice. It's a choice to stay ordinary when you were born for extraordinary. It's a choice to let your fears write your future when your potential is screaming for a chance to rewrite your story. The next few minutes will transform how you see yourself, your potential, and most importantly, your excuses. Let's dive deep into understanding what really happens in that moment when an excuse forms in your mind. An excuse isn't just a casual statement. It's a sophisticated defense mechanism your mind creates to protect you from potential pain, failure, or discomfort. When you say, "I don't have time," what you're really saying is, "This isn't a priority." When you say, "I'm not ready," what you're really saying is, "I'm afraid to find out what I'm capable of." These sophisticated mental constructs serve a purpose. They keep us in our comfort zone, that deceptively cozy place where dreams go to die. But here's the fascinating truth about the comfort zone. It's not really comfortable at all. It's a slow, subtle form of self-imposed torture where we trade our potential for predictability, where we exchange our greatness for guarantees. Think about the excuses that have become your faithful companions. The universal excuse, "I don't have enough time," has become the anthem of the unchanged life. But every day, someone with the same 24 hours you have is taking steps toward their dreams. They're writing their book, starting their business, transforming their health, or pursuing their education. Time doesn't discriminate. It's how we discriminate in using our time that makes all the difference. Then there's the resource excuse. "I don't have enough money, connections, or opportunities." Yet history is filled with individuals who turned empty pockets into full bank accounts, who transformed obscurity into influence. Resources are attracted to resourcefulness. When you stop explaining why you can't and start exploring how you can, resources find their way to you. Fear, perhaps the most honest of all excuses, yet still not valid. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But here's what most people don't realize about fear. It's not a wall, it's a compass. It points directly to where you need to go. The presence of fear is often life's way of showing you your next growth opportunity. Past experiences, the excuse that masquerades as wisdom. "I tried before and failed. It didn't work last time. I'm not good at this." These statements sound like logical conclusions, but they're really just predictions based on outdated information. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. And every success story includes chapters of failure. Social pressure, the silent dream killer. What will others think? It's not what people like me do. My family expects something different. These excuses reflect a fundamental misunderstanding of life's purpose. You weren't born to live up to others' expectations. You were born to fulfill your potential. The most dangerous aspect of these excuses is how reasonable they sound. They come disguised as logic, masquerade as wisdom, and present themselves as prudent thinking. But make no mistake, every excuse, no matter how logical it sounds, is a form of self-sabotage. It's your potential trying to negotiate with your fears, and in that negotiation, your dreams are the collateral damage. Let's talk about something that rarely gets discussed: the real price we pay when we choose not to try. This isn't just about missed opportunities. It's about the compound interest of regret that accumulates in our lives. Every time you choose not to try, you're not just passing on one opportunity, you're altering the entire trajectory of your existence. Think about the personal costs first. When you don't try, something happens inside you that's more devastating than any external failure could ever be. Your self-trust begins to erode. Each time you make an excuse, you're essentially breaking a promise to yourself. These broken promises accumulate like rust on your potential, slowly corroding your belief in what's possible for your life. Your self-respect quietly diminishes because deep down, you know you're living beneath your capabilities. The most painful part of not trying isn't the immediate consequence, it's the haunting question of what if that follows you through life. This isn't just emotional poetry, it's psychological reality. Research shows that people regret the things they didn't do far more than the things they did, even if those attempts ended in failure. Your mind can make peace with failure, but it struggles eternally with the phantom of untested potential. Consider the compounding effect. When you don't try today, you're not just affecting today, you're programming your response to every future opportunity. Each time you step back from a challenge, you're strengthening the neural pathways of retreat in your brain. You're literally training yourself to become more hesitant, more fearful, more prone to inaction. But the cost extends far beyond your personal sphere. Society pays a steep price for your unused potential. Think about this. Every major breakthrough, every revolutionary invention, every transformative idea that has improved human life came from someone who chose to try despite having every reason not to. What if Thomas Edison had decided that after the first 100 failures, light bulbs were simply impossible? What if the Wright brothers had accepted the common wisdom that humans weren't meant to fly? When you don't try, you're not just letting yourself down. You're letting down every person who could have benefited from your contribution. That business you never started, it might have employed dozens of people, supported their families, solved problems for countless customers. That book you never wrote, it might have contained the very words someone needed to hear to change their life. That invention you never pursued, it might have been the solution to a problem affecting millions. The cost ripples through generations. Your children and the young people around you learn not from your words, but from your actions. When you make excuses, you're teaching them to do the same. You're passing down a legacy of limitation rather than one of possibility. They inherit your fears rather than your courage, your excuses rather than your determination. There's also an economic cost to unused potential. Every skill not developed, every idea not pursued, every innovation not created represents lost economic value. In a global economy that increasingly rewards creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship, playing it safe has become the riskiest strategy of all. But perhaps the most significant cost is the one we pay in our final moments. Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse, documented the top regrets of the dying. Among the most common was, "I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." This isn't just about career choices or business ventures. It's about the fundamental human need to explore the outer edges of our potential, to discover what we're truly capable of achieving. The truth is, not trying exacts a price far greater than failing ever could. While failure is an event, not trying is a decision that becomes a destiny. Let's understand something fundamental about human potential. Everything changes in the moment of decision, not in the moment of opportunity, not in the moment of ability, but in the moment of decision. This is where your future pivots, where your life's trajectory takes a new course, where transformation begins. What most people don't realize is that decision is a force. It's not just a thought or a wish, it's an energetic commitment that sets universal laws into motion. When you truly decide, not just hope, not just wish, not just want, but truly decide, something shifts in the fabric of your reality. Resources you didn't know existed suddenly become visible. Opportunities you couldn't see before start appearing. People who can help you mysteriously show up in your life. But here's the critical distinction. Real decisions are made in spite of current circumstances, not because of them. Most people wait for conditions to be perfect before they decide. They wait for fear to disappear, for confidence to arrive, for resources to accumulate. But that's not how transformation works. The power lies in deciding anyway, deciding despite, deciding regardless. Think about it this way. Every significant breakthrough in human history came from someone who made a decision that seemed illogical at the time. They decided without evidence, without approval, without guarantee. They understood something, that most missed circumstances don't create decisions. Decisions create circumstances. Here's the framework for making powerful decisions that stick. First, eliminate the possibility of retreat. Most decisions fail not because they were wrong, but because they were weak. When you keep the back door open, you never fully commit to walking through the front door. Burn the boats. Make retreat more painful than advance. Second, announce your decision to people who matter. Not for their approval, but for your accountability. When you speak your decision out loud, you're no longer just thinking it, you're living it. Your word becomes your bond, and your public commitment becomes a force that pulls you forward when motivation fades. Third, take immediate action. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when conditions improve, now. The size of the action doesn't matter. What matters is breaking the pattern of waiting. Make a phone call, write an email, buy the domain name, sign up for the class, do something that moves your decision from the realm of thought into the realm of reality. Fourth, understand that a decision is not a one-time event. It's a pattern of choices that you make moment by moment. Each small choice either reinforces or weakens your decision. Choose consciously, choose consistently, choose courageously. At any moment, you are one decision away from a completely different life. Not one capability, not one circumstance, not one permission slip, one decision. The power to transform your life doesn't lie in your conditions. It lies in your choices. Now that we understand the power of decision, let's get practical about transforming excuses into actionable steps. I'm going to share with you a method that has helped thousands transform their lives, the excuse to action method. This isn't just another motivational technique. It's a systematic approach to turning your biggest obstacles into your greatest opportunities. First, let's understand how this method works. Every excuse you make has hidden within it the seed of its own solution. When you say, "I don't have enough money," embedded in that statement is the need to either find creative funding sources or develop a plan that requires minimal capital. When you say, "I don't have enough time," hidden in that excuse is the opportunity to master time management or find ways to leverage your existing time more effectively. Here's how we implement the excuse to action method. Start by writing down your top 3 excuses. Be brutally honest. Don't intellectualize them or try to make them sound better than they are. Now, for each excuse, ask yourself 3 transformative questions. What is the opposite of this excuse? What would someone without this limitation do? How can this limitation actually be an advantage? Let's take this further with practical tools. The first is the resource maximization framework. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, conduct a thorough inventory of what you do have. Skills, relationships, time pockets, unused assets, knowledge, everything counts. Most people are sitting on a gold mine of resources while complaining about not having enough. Your smartphone alone has more computing power than what was used to send humans to the moon. Your social media connections might be worth more than a traditional business loan. Your free time, even if it's just 2 hours a week, could be enough to start building something significant. Time management becomes time mastery through the priority pyramid system. Instead of trying to find more time, we reshape how we use the time we have. The pyramid has 3 levels: foundation activities, things that must happen; Growth activities, things that create future opportunities, and optimization activities, things that maximize current results. Every task you perform should fit into one of these categories. If it doesn't, it's not just taking your time, it's stealing your future. Energy optimization is another crucial tool. Your energy is actually more important than your time. 1 hour of focused, high-energy work can accomplish more than 4 hours of low-energy effort. Create your personal energy map, identify when you're at your best, and align your most important tasks with these peak energy periods. Protect these power hours like they're worth millions, because in terms of your potential, they are. The solution-focused mindset is your mental framework for transformation. Instead of asking, why can't I? Start asking, how can I? This isn't positive thinking, it's strategic thinking. When you ask better questions, your brain gives you better answers. How can I? Activates your creative problem-solving abilities. Why can't I? Activates your excuse-making machinery. Implementation is where most transformation efforts fail, so we use the AAA protocol: awareness, action, accountability. Awareness means tracking your excuse patterns. When do they show up? What triggers them? How do they manifest? Action means having pre-planned responses to these triggers. When the excuse "I'm too tired" appears, your action plan kicks in automatically. Accountability means having systems in place that keep you moving forward even when motivation fades. Remember this key principle: action precedes motivation, not the other way around. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel confident. Don't wait to feel certain. The feelings you're waiting for are actually produced by action, not by thinking or planning or preparing. Your excuses are simply misunderstood signs pointing toward your next growth opportunity. Every time you hear yourself make an excuse, celebrate you've just identified your next breakthrough waiting to happen. Transform "I can't" because into "I can if." And watch as your mind begins generating solutions instead of excuses. Let me share with you one of the most powerful secrets of achievement: the art of building and maintaining momentum. You see, most people misunderstand what creates lasting success. They think it's about making one big leap, one grand gesture, one massive action. But true transformation works more like a flywheel. It starts with small, consistent actions that gradually build unstoppable momentum. Let's talk about the first step principle. The hardest part of any journey isn't the middle or even the end, it's that first step. Your brain is wired to resist change, to maintain homeostasis, to keep you exactly where you are. That's why we start small, so small that your brain's resistance mechanism doesn't activate. Want to write a book? Start with 1 paragraph a day. Want to build a business? Start with 1 client. Want to transform your health? Start with 1 minute of exercise. This isn't about lacking ambition. It's about understanding the physics of personal change. Small actions consistently taken create compound effects that ultimately lead to massive results. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. The initial push is the hardest part, but once it starts rolling, it develops its own momentum. The key is to celebrate these small victories. Your brain needs evidence that change is possible, that your efforts are working. Each small win releases dopamine, reinforcing the behavior and making it more likely you'll continue. This is how habits are formed, how momentum is built, how transformation becomes sustainable. But here's where most people go wrong. They try to maintain this momentum alone. This brings us to the power of support systems. You need 3 types of people in your corner: mentors who've walked the path before you, peers who are on the same journey, and supporters who believe in your vision. These relationships aren't just nice to have, they're crucial for sustained momentum. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from failure, it's about bouncing forward. Every setback contains the seeds of a comeback. When you hit obstacles, and you will, don't see them as stop signs, see them as feedback mechanisms. They're not telling you to quit, they're telling you to adjust your approach. This is where the feedback loop becomes crucial. Establish regular check-ins with yourself. Weekly reviews aren't just about tracking progress, they're about understanding patterns. What's working? What isn't? Where are you making excuses? Where are you seeing breakthrough? This isn't about judgment, it's about adjustment. Strategy adjustment is a sign of strength, not weakness. The path to any goal is never a straight line. Those who succeed aren't those who never fail, they're those who adapt the fastest. Your initial approach might need modification. That's not just normal, it's necessary. Think of it like sailing. You rarely get to your destination by pointing directly at it. You tack back and forth, adjusting to the winds while keeping your ultimate destination in sight. Momentum has a magical quality. Once you build it, it starts working for you instead of against you. The same force that made it hard to start now makes it hard to stop. The key is to understand that momentum is built in the mundane moments, in the daily decisions, in the seemingly insignificant choices. Remember this, momentum isn't maintained by motivation, it's maintained by systems. Create systems that make it easier to keep going than to stop. Set up your environment so that taking action is the path of least resistance. Make your desired behaviors automatic, and your excuses will gradually lose their power. Your momentum is your responsibility. It's not about waiting for inspiration, it's about creating systems that keep you moving forward regardless of how you feel. A formula that has been proven time and time again across cultures, industries, and generations. This isn't just another theoretical framework, it's a practical, implementable system that transforms potential into reality. I call it the achievement formula, and it consists of 4 core components that, when combined, create unstoppable forward motion. First, vision clarity. This goes far beyond simply knowing what you want. It's about developing such a vivid, compelling vision that it pulls you forward even on your worst days. Your vision must be so clear that you can taste it, feel it, live it in your mind before it materializes in reality. Most people's visions are like weak radio signals, full of static and interference. Your vision needs to be in high definition, broadcasting at full power, drowning out the noise of doubt and distraction. Second, action alignment. This is where most achievement systems break down. It's not enough to take action. Your actions must be aligned with your vision. Every step you take should move you measurably closer to your goal. Think of it like a master chess player. Every move serves a strategic purpose. Every action advances the overall game plan. This requires brutal honesty about whether your daily activities truly serve your vision or just give the illusion of progress. Third, the persistence protocol. This is your insurance policy against giving up. Persistence isn't just about continuing when things get tough. It's about continuing intelligently. It's about having pre-planned responses to obstacles, predetermined solutions to challenges, and backup plans for your backup plans. Real persistence isn't stubbornness, it's strategic stamina. Fourth, the growth mindset matrix. This is your framework for continuous evolution. It's not enough to work hard. You must constantly expand your capabilities. Every skill you acquire, every lesson you learn, every experience you gather becomes part of your achievement arsenal. The matrix helps you identify which skills you need to develop next, which beliefs you need to upgrade, which habits you need to install or remove. Implementation is where the rubber meets the road. Your daily practices should reflect all 4 components of the formula. Start each day by reconnecting with your vision, not just thinking about it, but experiencing it emotionally. Review your actions to ensure they align with your goals. Reinforce your persistence by celebrating small wins and learning from setbacks. Identify one area for growth and take concrete steps to develop in that area. Weekly reviews become your calibration points. Are you moving faster or slower than planned? Are your actions producing the expected results? What adjustments need to be made? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about staying on course and making intelligent corrections. Monthly assessments help you spot larger patterns and make strategic adjustments. This is where you look at the bigger picture, evaluate your progress, and make more substantial course corrections if needed. Your yearly planning then becomes about leveraging what you've learned, setting new challenges, and expanding your vision. The achievement formula isn't just about reaching goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who consistently achieves what they set out to do. It's about building the internal capabilities that make success inevitable rather than occasional. Section 8, powerful closing, 300 words. As we come to the end of our time together, let me share something profound with you. Right now, in this moment, you stand at a crossroads, not just between action and inaction, but between two versions of yourself, the one who makes excuses and the one who makes history. Look around this room. Every single person who achieved something remarkable started exactly where you are right now. They had the same doubts, the same fears, the same reasons why they couldn't or shouldn't try. The only difference between them and those who remain in the shadows of their potential was one simple decision, the decision to try anyway. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You can either be sitting exactly where you are today, armed with a fresh set of excuses, or you can be standing in the midst of your achievements, surrounded by the evidence of your courage. The choice you make in the next few minutes will determine which future becomes your reality. Your potential is like a living force within you, and every day you deny it expression, it diminishes. Every excuse you make is like a small death to your dreams. But here's the beautiful truth. You can bring those dreams back to life with one decision, one action, one moment of courage. So I challenge you, right here, right now, stand up, take out your phone, your notebook, whatever you have, write down the biggest excuse that's been holding you back. Now cross it out and write these words. Starting today, this excuse no longer controls my life. Future generations will ask you what you did with your time on this earth. They won't be interested in your excuses. They'll be interested in your actions. Make sure your story is one worth telling. There is no excuse for not trying. There never was, there never will be. The time is now. The person is you. The choice is yours.